Well, hey, I am super excited to, I've been playing around with this morning, but wow, this is awesome. This gentleman is going to be our featured guest for today. He is new to the Valley of the Sun, but he's not new to the scene if you're a sports fan at all. Please welcome, now I'm drawing a blank here. I'm so flustered. We'll edit this out. When you saw this guy on talk shows, this kind of mess up never happened. But please welcome the new head coach of the University of Arizona State Sun Devils. Please welcome the one and only Mr. Herm Edwards.
How you doing?
I got it out of it.
You're good. You're good.
Welcome.
I'm sitting in the back over here with Tim. Last time I was on a talk show, it was David Letterman, and this is way far better than David Letterman.
Thank you very much.
You're doing a fabulous job here. The audience is much nicer. I can actually see them, so it's all good.
That guy couldn't hold a job. He's gone now.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Well, keep in mind, he did that.
You got to get a band, though.
Well,
coming out with the band, you know.
Thank you. I've been lobbying for that.
We'll work on
he did it 5 nights a week. I do it once a month. So I'm kind of, but boy, I'll tell you what, it's a pleasure to have you here at Mesa Morning Live, and it's even a bigger thrill to have you in the Valley of the Sun. Welcome, and tell us what's on the horizon for the Devils.
Well, we actually have a spring game tonight. It's our last practice. The Pac-12 network is actually putting it on television for all that can't show up to start on the Pac-12 tonight, and you'll watch the Arizona State football team participate in somewhat of a controlled scrimmage. And then from there, we start back on the road of recruiting. You know, football is about recruiting, obviously, and there's a lot of great kids that play in this state that we are after, as well as the state next door in California. You know, it's a process, as we all know, but we have some veteran guys coming back, some seniors. We have a fabulous quarterback, one of the best receivers in the country. And so our offense is intact. We went out and really kind of defined our DNA as far as what type of players we would like to have. When you look at our conference, it's in the Pac-12 conference. And if you look at the team that's been the most consistent, hasn't been USC, by the way, our other guest, it's really been Stanford. In the last 6 years, Stanford has won the title 4 times. And wow. So, you know, they go unnoticed. They're not pretty. They kind of run the ball and they play good defense. But they have competitive consistency, and that's what we're looking for. So we've kind of defined our DNA a little bit different. I was talking to one of the guys in the back, and I said, you know, when you define your DNA, it's basically what type of athletes are you after. And to play in this conference, when you look at SC, you look at Washington, you look at Stanford, they've got big athletic players. So we've got a class of just offensive linemen coming in that are not here yet. There's 5 of them that are coming in. One of them happens to be the left guard from SC. He left SC, he's gonna join us. One of them is the left tackle from Stanford. But their dimensions go as this. The smallest one is 6'5", 310.
Wow.
And we've got 5 of them coming in. We got 2 of them at 6'6", about 320. Another one at 6'7", who's a freshman. He's 330. So we're trying to define ourselves and define our DNA. So we're going to be a much larger, faster, more physical football team. That's going to take a couple, obviously, recruiting classes, but that's the direction we're headed.
That's awesome. Good for you. You know, I've been a fan of yours since back in the day when you were playing, and you look like you still go out there and strap it up and play, man. You're in good shape.
I got 1 hit left. Just one.
Well,
I've been saving it.
I'll try to make sure you don't
You're
use
okay.
it today.
You're safe. You're safe.
Right.
You're safe.
Well, when I think of Herm Edwards, the play that kind of everybody remembers is the miracle in the Meadowlands. If I drop this ball right now like Joe Pisarcik did, could you pick it up and run it back in?
Yeah, let me tell you the story. Everyone wants to know the story.
Good.
It's kind of ironic because when you think about it, I actually wore a helmet the years I played, so I wasn't that far back.
Had a face mask, too.
Yeah, face mask, too. And it was in 1978, and this is what created the victory formation. When you see the teams now in football actually stand behind the quarterback, and there's a guy behind the quarterback. That wasn't in place until this play took place. And basically, the game was 26 seconds left in the game, and we were down by 5 points, and all they needed to do was run the clock out. And they win the game. and we're done. It was in New York. Obviously, that makes it bigger because anything in New York is always bigger and better, you know. And so with 26 seconds left, they decided to try to hand the ball off to Larry Zonka. And now, that's what people see. They see the fumble, but what took place before that, they actually took a knee, but a fight broke out. Our linebacker, Bill Berge, their center was knocked Clack into Joe Pisarcik, and a little skirmish came in, and the officials came in and broke it up, and they had to stop the clock. And so the coach over there goes, okay, to just run it. And so they decided to run the play. So as this thing's about to take place, as they're breaking the huddle, Doug Kotar, who's the up back, he's standing like right here, and I kind of shake his hand and say, hey, come shake, man, it's a good game. We're kind of visiting. And the quarterback is getting over the ball, Joe, and he's kind of looking back at Zonk, and I look at Zonk, and he's like this, and he's going, well, that's strange, you know. It's like,
really?
Yeah, this is happening, you know. And so Joe's kind of looking back at Clack, because he's the center, is looking at the 40-second clock, and the clock's going down. And it gets down to about 5 seconds, and Joe's not ready yet, and Clack has to hike the ball because he doesn't want to delay. And so he hikes it, and Joe's really not ready, kind of like glances back like that. And the ball is being bobbled. Now, you don't see that on television. All you see is the ball hitting the ground and me running and catching it. And as ball hits the ground, Kodar, who I'm standing in front of, he's not blocking me because I think they're taking a knee. And so I kind of go around Kodar, and the ball hits the ground, and I'm running to try to grab the ball, and in my brain, I'm thinking, I got to get it on the bounce. I got to get on the first bounce. And it bounces up perfect, and I get it. And Joe was reaching out at the ball, and the last thing I hear, he hollers, oh, no. I run, you know, and I clock the game, you know, I run into the end zone, it's a touchdown. Now, the crazy part, Dick Vermeil, who was my coach, he's on the sideline. Could you imagine, the play is happening. He's standing like this, and the play is happening this way. And he's got Jaworski and all these guys, and he's got all the offensive players going, we might get one more play, and if we do, we're going to do this hook and lateral, we're going to throw it off. And the players are like running past him like this. And he grabs one of them, he says, where are you guys going? He says, Herm just scored a touchdown, coach.
It's awesome.
He never saw it.
Awesome. You know, that's kind of a metaphor for life, though, isn't it? It's not over till it's over, and you just, to be prepared. And you watched all that unfold and took advantage of it.
Well, it's just opportunities.
Yeah.
And life is about opportunities. And I've always said this, when you work hard in life, you know, people say, what is luck? Luck is opportunity met. And when you work hard, you get some bounces in life. And hopefully you can take advantage of when you see the bounce.
That is awesome. So that was the start of the victory formation, because now that doesn't...
Now, yeah, and when I became a coach, it's kind of ironic. You coach it. It happened in 1978. So some of the kids that I coach, even in pro football, in 2000, they kind of know to play. And that's the trivia question. First practice, I asked the rookies. You know, at the end of practice on a Saturday, we played on Sundays, and now we'll play on Saturdays. I'll have the victory formation, and all the players will look at it. And I said, this is the formation you want to look at the end of the game. You want to look at this formation. And then I'll ask the rookies, I said, now, why do they do this? And they'll kind of look. I said, you go Google it tonight, why this formation. They'll come back in the meeting, Coach, you're the guy. I said, yeah, I'm the guy.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of past coaching experience, my hometown is Kansas City, and I know you were there. And
Chieftains.
That's right, buddy. And so a couple of questions unprepared. Who's your favorite player that played for you when you were with the Chiefs?
Oh.
Was there anybody that sticks out as far as a guy that...
Probably, I was there twice. I was there the first time, if you remember, with Marty.
Right.
And so this is a pretty good staff. We'll talk about that staff. It was Marty Schottenheimer. It was Bill Cowher. It was Tony Dungy and Bruce Arians.
Wow.
We were all on that staff together.
That's a pretty good staff.
Time, yeah. And we were pretty, and we actually got, that was the year in the era when a lot of people that were maybe there's not because we're in Phoenix, but Joe Montana came to us.
Sure.
And Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen's a great friend. I mean, a really good friend of mine. And, you know, we ended up losing the championship game to Buffalo. And Joe got knocked out in the first quarter of the game. But that was a pretty good staff, pretty good team. That team, it was probably, I had a guy by the name of Albert Lewis, who played corner for us.
29.
29, great player.
Yeah.
A great player. Christian Okoye was a bunch of great players. But probably Tony Gonzalez.
Oh, what a beast.
You know?
All those guys.
Yeah, really good player. One of my favorite players in Tampa was a guy, he's a GM now, his name is John Lynch. He is San Francisco 49ers GM, and one of my players in New York was Chad Pennington, quarterback, and Curtis Martin, obviously, a Hall of Famer. I've been very fortunate to coach a lot of great players.
Yeah, you know, all those guys, to make it to the NFL, you have to be physically gifted. But boy, what separates is the mental aspect.
It is, and when you think about it, and I tell parents this all the time, 6% of all high school athletes are Division I players.
Wow.
Everywhere in the country. 6%. That's it. There's no, it's not 7, it's not 8, it's 6. In the National Football League, a league that I've been in for a long time, I was in the National Football League for 30 years. Wow. Playing and coaching.
That's awesome.
I never had a job. I've always been a coach or a player. I mean, really, I've been on recess my whole life. And then, when I decided to go to TV, they say, hey, coach, you put some makeup on, you can talk about football. I said, I'm in. Work for the worldwide leader, it's all good. But to play in a National Football League, only 2%. They'll have a draft here this year. There'll be 200 and, when compensatory picks are done, probably 260-odd players will be drafted. Know this, 50% of the first round players are busts. In 3 years, they're out of the league. The life expectancy of a National Football League player is 3.2 years. Wow. It's not a career, it's an opportunity. I was fortunate. I played 10 years. Never missed a play, never missed a start. It's very difficult. Only 2% of all the college players from everywhere, from USC, Alabama, from Georgia, all the big schools, from Arizona State, 2% actually play in the National Football League. That's it. It's very difficult. It is very, here's what happens to young players that they don't understand. I tell them all when they come in the league. In college, when you come in, you're a freshman. And you look at the class in front of you and you can see a guy, he's a junior and he's a senior, in 2 years I'm gonna play, because they graduate. Pro football, they don't graduate. You walk in the locker room, you have to take a man's job. Wow. There's a difference. So that veteran's sitting there with a family, with 3 kids, and you're the rookie, he's not gonna retire because they drafted you. You gotta take his job. And that's the competitive part of it. That's what makes sports so unique. You have to compete every day. Every day you have to come to work, you have to compete, because your resume is what you put on that tape. When you go on the grass, you present your resume. That's how it works. There's no guessing, there's no, this is what it looks like, okay? And you get evaluated every day. That's at every level. When you're in sports, you have to compete. And if you don't want to compete, you're in the wrong profession.
How many people think you ought to do that with your business career too? Yeah, you bet. Well, I mentioned your most famous play was scooping up the ball and taking it in for the game winner. You've coined some great terms that have been turned into what they call Hermisms.
Yeah.
Give us your most famous.
Yeah, well, you know, you play to win the game.
Yeah, there you go. You play to win the game.
That was pretty good. This is a beer place. Got me a couple beer commercials on that. It was pretty good. My wife really liked that. I tell you the story. Here's the story. Quick story. So I'm in New York. I'm the head coach. And our first year we go to the playoffs. And the second year we get off to this lousy start. And in New York media, it's like, when you have a media press conference, it's kind of like this, to be quite honest. That's the way people covered New York teams. You know, you just come in there, and I'm up there, and it's on a Tuesday, and there's no players in on Tuesday, and we have a record of 2-5 right now. We're struggling. We're kind of, you know, and so one of the reporters, they trying to get to the question of basically, is your team, you know, you're going to tap out? Is your team going to quit? You know, and I said, oh. So I go off on a rant, you know. And so you go back up and you meet, you know, with the coaches, and I don't watch television because you're the coach, you're in the bubble. You just go upstairs and you're there until, you know, 12 o'clock at night. You're watching tape and trying to get ready. We're going to play the San Diego Chargers in San Diego. And so I go home and I get out the car and I'm walking to the front door and the light comes on. It's about 12:30 at night. My wife opens the door. She looks up, she says, "What did you do today?" And I'm going, this has happened at like 9 o'clock in the morning. And I'm going, what are you talking about? She said, "It's all over. It's everywhere." I said, "What are you talking about?" She says, "The hello." And I went, "Oh, that one." I said, "Was it good?" She said, "It's everywhere." And so the next day, the players come in. And Chad Pennington, the quarterback, is sitting in the back of the room. And I'm getting ready to address the team. And he stands up. He says, "Coach, we got you. We heard what you said, Coach. So we're going to play the Chargers. Chargers are 8-1, or 6-1. Wow. 6-1. And we're going there, and if anybody's been around sports, you know, there's this homecoming game you have, and when you play on a team, if you're not the starter, you tell everybody, everyone in the neighborhood, come, because we got the homecoming game, and you schedule a team that you can beat by 50. So we're the homecoming game for the Chargers. Pro football, we're the homecoming game. We're going to San Diego, and they're going to bring the old Super Bowl team back, and they're going to bring them around in the stadium, and you know, because we're the homecoming team. We're going to get slaughtered. 2-5, we ain't any good. And so the players are in the meeting that night, and I'm telling them, I say, "Hey," I said, "here's the deal." I said, "They got a cannon. If you've ever been to Charger game, they got a cannon over the left end zone. Every time they score, boom, they shoot the cannon." And I said, "Here's the deal. If I hear that cannon go off twice in the first quarter, just follow me. And we're going to go stand in front of the cannon. When it gets to fire the third one, we're going to just shoot us and get it over with." So the players are looking. Coach has lost it.
He's lost his mind.
He's going, I said, "Just stand in front of the cannon with me. We're going to go get it over. We didn't have to come back home. We could end the season. Everything's over." So we get in the locker room on Sunday morning, and I tell the players, I said, "Look, we're the homecoming game. You know, they're going to have the guys come around. So I said, hey, we're not getting introduced. So I want you to go out there, and I said, you sit on the bench, and you watch it." So the guy comes in, he goes to me, "Coach," he says, "you introducing offense or defense?" I said, "We're not introducing anybody." He said, "No, we're not introducing anybody." I said, "We'll be out there. Don't worry about us." So the guy leaves. So the team kind of follows me. They go out, and they sit on the sideline. And I stand on the 50-yard line like this. And the guys are coming around in the cars, and Bobby Ross is on back of one. He's waiting. I said, "How you doing, Coach?" And the team's sitting there. We kicked the ball off. Middle way in the second quarter, we're beating them old Chargers 28-7. You know, Chad walks up to me. He says, "Coach, you want to score 65 today?" And I said, "No, that's enough." So we beat the Chargers. The Chargers go 8-8. We win the division.
Wow.
The moral to the story, here's the moral to the story. You finish what you started. You don't quit. You don't get to tap out in life.
Yeah.
It's your job to finish the job, whatever it may be. That's what you signed on to do. And that's what good teams do. They finish the deal. And that was kind of interesting, that game. Very interesting, by the way.
That's awesome. And the other moral is put a cannon in your office.
Yeah, that always helps.
Threaten your employees.
That always helps.
That's awesome. Well, I was going to ask you to give this team, it's kind of a roughshod looking group we got here.
No.
We got some rookies and we got some veterans. But if this was your team where they're from all walks of life, what do you tell people?
Understand your purpose. You got to have passion for what you do. And I think when you lead people, there's something that never changes, no matter if you're leading a football team, if you're leading a company of folks. Be a person of integrity. Your words and your actions got to match up every day.
Yeah.
You know, because what we do in the dark eventually comes to the light. And we live in a world now that everyone owns one of these, you know. And your words and your actions got to match up. When I first took this job at Arizona State, we started working out with the players and in their gear on the off season before we even started football. And on the front of the shirt, it has a fork. And on the back of the shirt, there's a slogan that I said, "Words and actions, do they match up?" That's life. At the end, do your words and actions match up? And if you can do that every day, people will follow you. And if you don't do that every day, you get exposed. It's real simple. It's not by accident. You know, this thing, integrity, we say it, but can we live it? And it's hard. I try to do that every day. That's the person I am. My words and my actions match up, not just on Sunday when I go to Mass, every day, Monday through Sunday. And that's important. People want to follow people they can trust, not just at work, but when you leave work. You know, I've always told young people this: the most powerful possession you have as a parent is your last name. That's the most powerful possession you can give your child. It's not a new car, it's not a new computer, it's not a new iPhone, it's your last name. Because that is your legacy of your family. And that becomes a part of the legacy in the business you work for, the team you lead as a head coach, the team you play for. Life's not real hard. It's pretty simple. We make it complicated. Just do the right thing. Not on accident, on purpose. Just do the right thing. That's all you got to do, and you never have to worry about what you say. I don't wake up every morning, what did I say? I told the truth. And sometimes people, it's hard for them to, he shouldn't say that. No, it's the truth. When you speak the truth, you speak the truth. And if you do it that way, you sleep good at night. I sleep good at night. I just get up every morning, do what I do and try to be a man of integrity. I think that's very important.
I heard one of my favorite quotes is, life is simple, it's just not easy. Yeah, right. But you're right, we make it harder than it has to be.
Yeah, we do.
Another thing, I went to your Wikipedia page. You're known to get up 6 days a week and be in the gym by 5 a.m., it said. And that's another thing we don't have in common. But
I'm there at 4:30.
Are you really?
I was there at 4:30 this morning.
Wow. You haven't got used to the time change, or what do you do?
No, I've always known. I live, look, it's kind of ironic. When I was in television, working for ESPN, as we know, Bristol, Connecticut is back east. Well, I live in Carmel, California. I commuted 6,000 miles a week. Wow. It's 3,000 miles to go to work. 3,000 miles to come back. So I lived on East Coast time. Because I have to do a lot of shows. If I'm not on television, whether it's radio shows, whatever it is, I'm back east, so I have to get up. So I have to work out early to make sure if I'm not there, and they can call me at 5 o'clock in the morning and say, Coach, we got the truck coming to the house. There's a special thing coming out we need you to be on, and the truck comes to the house, and I'll put on a jacket and a tie and sit behind my desk, and here we go, worldwide leader, go to work.
That's awesome. Have you settled into the Valley yet? Does it feel like home?
We have a home in Tempe. I got 2 little girls. Now, this is going to shock people. They're 11 and 12. I didn't get married till I was 46 years old, believe it or not.
Good for you.
So they're coming in August because they're still in school. But they'll be here in August. They're excited. They're coming today, actually, for the spring game. So they'll be here this weekend.
Yeah, August. That's a good time to move to the Valley.
Yeah, it's kind of hot. Kind of hot, what I heard.
Don't understand the
We
term
got our guy,
Sun Devil.
Mr. Air Conditioner. We're good. Oh, he's smiling right now.
You're going to need him.
I'm going to get your car. Don't worry about it, partner. You're good.
When he moved here, he had a full head of hair.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Yeah.
That's how hot it gets here.
I know.
But no, well, welcome to the Valley. We're excited you're here.
Well,
we're
good to be here.
We got a lot of, and we got some University of Arizona fans here too.
They're good.
Because
Teddy Bruschi's one of my best friends.
Because a lot of guys, not everybody could get accepted to ASU, so they had to go to, they had to make the 2-hour drive to Tucson. But we got a lot of Devil fans here that are pulling for you hard.
Thank you.
Let's see what time. Somebody's going to get a bonus question. Anybody got one quick question? And while you're running a microphone to them, I got a final question for you.
Sure.
What was your favorite barbecue spot in KC when you were there? Did you ever go to Charlie Bryan?
Yeah, I Jack Stacks.
Jack Stacks. Oh, man.
Great beans, right?
Oh, dude.
Unbelievable.
I know.
You can order them, they'll send them.
Oh, I know. Well,
have you?
No.
We've done it a couple times.
I don't have Herm Edwards money.
Yeah, we need a lot of money. All you need is a credit card. It's all good.
Yeah, give me an imprint of your card.
I'm on allowance. I get an allowance.
Oh, yeah, you are married, aren't you?
Yeah, I carry cash. I don't even have a credit card, it's just cash.
I got a quick question right here. Holler it out.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to know what your expectations are for the offense and Manny Wilkins.
Well, offensively, when you look at this team, there's a lot of players that are coming back. They were on offense and averaged about 31 points a game last year. I don't see too much of a change from there. We're going to be a little bit more more multidimensional. I still believe that you got to take a book from Stanford and USC and still go under center some and play. You know, I still believe tough teams run the football. You want to control the game. This is why one of the reasons we went out and get these big offensive linemen. I want to dictate the terms of how the game's going to be played. I think tough teams, smart teams, physical teams win at any level. We want to become that. But with Manny right now, when you look at the conference, he's got to be one of the best quarterbacks in the conference. The kid from SC, fabulous quarterback. I'm glad he left. He's going to the pros. The guy from UCLA, he's gone. Manny is probably the veteran guy. We've got probably one of the best receivers. But with that being said, we got to improve on defense. You can score 31 points, but the problem is when you give up 32 points, that's not good. And so we're going to have to get better defensively. We're a little light there right now, but we've got some players coming in that will help us. But we want a defense that when you know, not because I'm a defensive guy, but I just think at the end, people appreciate defense. They really do. And you can set the tone of the game. Defense travels. Defense goes on the road because you don't play with the ball. And so you got to be able to go on the road, and when you go play SC down in the Coliseum, and you go to Washington, you go to those tough spots where you got to play, you know, you got to have a defense. And so we're trying to build that. So that's kind of my expectations.
I don't know if this is there any way to get Terrell Suggs back for another
year? A couple of those guys. We're going to be okay. We'll be okay.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you being here. We hope you have enjoyed your introduction to the Valley. One thing you'll learn, a lot of dust out there. A lot of dirt.
What do they call those things? The devil, what do they call those things?
The dust devil, yeah.
The dust, I was at practice yesterday, the thing, I said, what is that? They said, the dust devil. I started ducking, where's it come from? I just say, where does the devil come from? I thought it was Sparky was the only guy. Now we got a dust devil. I mean, we got too many devils around.
They come from Tucson. That's
Tucson, they come up.
Do you drive a car in the Valley? Or do you get chauffeured everywhere?
Oh,
I
drive.
You got a car?
I'm low maintenance, yes.
Okay, well, it's probably dirty after last night.
After the dust devil?
So.
Car wash?
Car wash, buddy. $100 detail. We don't just wash your car. We detail it. You go to Cobblestone, they're all over the Valley.
Okay.
They're opening one up. It's like Circle K's. They pop up on a corner overnight. Okay. Cobblestone Auto Spa, they're going to take good care of your car.
Thank you, sir.
$100 detail card,
nice.
Courtesy of Cobblestone.
Wow.
Boy, thanks for the pep talk.
Thank you.
We're ready to stand in front of a cannon with you anytime, Coach.
And it doesn't hurt. And you get it over with real fast.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big, as we send him off and also welcome him to the Valley, Coach Herm Edwards.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for what you guys do. My dad was a master sergeant.
There's a good man right there, guy. Just seemed to stop and say hi to the Marine Corps guys there. Boy, I'll tell you what, the one thing you can learn from Herm Edwards, passion, there's no substitute for that. So thanks for being here, Coach. Thanks to all of our guests for being here. Thanks to you guys, because you know what, we do this every month. We always want to keep it fun and light and at the same time have you walk out of here learning a little bit of something. Come back next month. We've got Governor Ducey will be here. And boy, talk about a guy that's in the news. Doug Ducey, graduate of ASU, will be here next month. So stop by and see us. Once again, how about a big thank you to all of our guests that were here. Thank you to our breakfast. Thanks to Crescent Crown for providing such a beautiful place to be here. You guys go out and make it a great day, and we'll see you next month at Mesa Morning Live.